Hello, everyone. We have with us today a Japanese language expert with over 16 plus years of experience in the IT industry and running her independent practice as a collaboration consultant between India and Japan for the last 10 years. She also works as a program manager for the Association of Friends of Japan. She is also working as an official interpreter on various diplomatic missions. Her educational background spans various fields like psychology, social work, computer, management, ecology, Japanese language, and Indology. She was awarded a scholarship by the Ministry of Education, Government of Japan, to study the Japanese language and culture at Shizuoka University, Japan. Welcome to the show, Swati.
Yes, thank you, Lalita. Thank you for the opportunity.
Look forward to a wonderful conversation with you.
Thank you.
Swati, I would like to take you back and ask you about the scholarship you received back then.
Okay. So the scholarship, it's called the Mombusho Scholarship, which means the scholarship which is given by the Ministry of Education of the Government of Japan. So it's a one-year scholarship given to students who are learning Japanese language. And the objective is to learn Japanese language and culture in a Japanese university for 1 year. But in my case, it was a bit different because in my interview for the scholarship, I had mentioned that I was an undergrad student of psychology and I was interested in educational psychology. So they actually put me in education department. So my major subject of study was educational psychology and minor was Japanese language. So I got to do semester 6 and 7 with the normal Japanese students. So that was a different kind of experience for me for this scholarship. And yes, this is about the scholarship as say, but that more than a scholarship, it was a dream come true because that was till now I feel that was the best year of my life. I got the freedom I wanted. Of course, it comes with responsibilities, the independence, and I got to know so many international students, so many Japanese people, and the way Japanese people behave. So many valuable experiences. So about one particular experience I would like to share. So in Japan, they have on the second Monday of January is called Coming of Age Day. When Japanese, not only Japanese, but people who have completed 20 years of age in the previous year, they come together and it's a celebration. Like now you're 20 years old, you are going into society. So there comes responsibility, and of course you can drink from that day. So yes, so I turned 20 when I was in Japan. And I was invited for this ceremony. So it was so wonderful to go there wearing kimono and mingling with others. So that's something I'll never forget.
That is really a good experience. You are integrated in the society then.
Yes. That 1 year was for the integration, I should say, as you mentioned.
Okay. So how did you choose Japanese then?
Well, in school, actually, when I was in school, after graduating, after 10th, we had the option of choosing science, commerce, or arts. I did not have any inclination for science or commerce, and I loved languages. So my father suggested, why don't you go for arts? Because that's what you like. But only, doing arts is not sufficient. Why don't you are interested in languages, why don't you learn some foreign language? And that was the time when Suzuki had just come to Japan, come to India. We were seeing the Maruti Suzuki cars around. There were many Japanese companies coming in. We knew about the Japanese products such as Sony Walkman and Panasonic, and we were hearing about the Toyota and Toshiba, all these companies, about the good quality products they produce. So I was interested in Japan, and even in school days, like when we learn about Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and how Japan recovered after those bombings, after that war. So it was, I had huge respect for those people, and then which was doubled by the high quality products they produced in such a short time after, almost after the country was almost destroyed. So that there was so much of respect. So I said, okay, let me try Japanese. And a friend was studying, he suggested, why don't you try that? So that's how I started learning Japanese.
Wow, quite a intense process it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, about your work, you have been handling various interpretation assignments. So, can you tell us more about it? Because interpretation is totally different from translation, and it
Yes.
involves a lot of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, I would like to divide my interpretation career into three phases. So initially, I started as a freelancer when I was 21, 22 years old. So that was the time mainly I worked in mechanical industries because many Japanese companies were coming here to India to produce components required for automobiles or any other products that they were manufacturing in India. So that was the beginning of my career, I should say. And it was very interesting because till that time I had never seen factories as such, and it was so nice to experience the engineering firsthand, like seeing machines working, people working on machines. And then I that was the time actually I came to know in what conditions these people have to work. The working hours are long, you have to stand on shop floor, which is very noisy at times, and you have to do interpretation at that time. And even the dedication of the Japanese people I came to know at that point of time, because even if they were senior engineers, they will do the task themselves, and they'll try to show the how certain processes are to be done, how machines are to be operated. They themselves will be sweating there to show it to the workers. So that dedication, that was the first phase of my life, when of interpretation career of my life, when I came to know about those things. And then second phase, I should say, was IT, because I worked in IT company after that for 16 years. And I did interpretation at project level, at corporate level. So that was again different experience. So how corporates work, or when doing interpretation at corporate level, what how the leadership team thinks, how they have to run the company. They just don't have to, they have to balance everything. So how they negotiate, how they try to do things. And that was a very nice experience. And even for projects, actually, it was nice communicating with people when understanding requirements. Like if you are starting with a new project, and then if you can communicate the requirements easily to the team, so it was kind of achievement. And of course, yeah, of course, there were times like when you are pissed off with your boss, and your boss is scolded by the counterparts, and you have to interpret it. So evil me used to be happy that time. Oh, I can say bad words to my boss directly.
So you really
Officially.
knew the language then.
Yeah, actually knowing bad words helps.
It's an achievement in learning.
Yes,
It's a
yes,
step in
yes.
learning the language.
Yes. And then the third phase of working with diplomats. So actually, since I was a student, I was working with this association called Association of Friends of Japan, and we used to get cultural groups from Japan to perform Japanese dances or give demonstrations of ikebana, showing bonsai and all those things. So that time I used to interpret as a student. And then we got involved with the Pune Municipal Corporation. And so I used to, these groups would meet the commissioner, the mayor, and I would do interpretation at that time. So that's what I was doing throughout my career. And after I stopped my career in IT, I started freelancing. And that's the time I started dedicating more time to Association of Friends of Japan. So we had by the time we had already developed relationship with Okayama prefecture in Japan and Wakayama prefecture in Japan. So we used to get delegates from them, and I used to interpret for them. So that's how I started. And then fortunately I got opportunity to interpret even for our Chief Minister of Maharashtra and many IS officers, many high level delegates, governors of Japanese prefectures. So no, that was a wonderful experience, I must say. Like I came to know why these great people are great. Their perspective of looking at things is so different. I thought that's why they are there. That's why they are great. And that was the really good experience, I must say.
That is a great learning, because knowing language is one thing, and working with these people is another thing. So
Yes.
mixing it is really great. Wow, you're really lucky.
Yes, I am, because they are so great people. Still, they are so down to earth, and they are so nice. They always appreciate. They give feedback immediately. That's a nice thing. Yes.
That's good. So this was about interpretation assignments. Then you have also worked on translation assignments.
Yes, I have.
So I can understand interpretation is a more of a lively thing. You are on the job, you're with people, and translation is like back office sort of.
Yes.
So how did you manage both? Because those who do interpretation usually say, "No, translation is boring."
Yes, translation is boring a bit if you compare it to interpretation.
Correct.
But of course, translation, you get to work on so many fields. Like you might not get chance to do interpretation in all those fields. Yes, you can work on automobile projects, and you can work on even in IT. There are e-learning projects. I worked on embedded systems. So that is, and one thing in translation is you are translating some documents from Japanese to English, because that technology is still not known here. The material is not available, so
Yes.
the technology in advance. That is one thing I always like I worked on this dual SIM project maybe 15 years ago, when we didn't know about dual SIM.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that actually is quite interesting in
Right.
translation.
This is nice. And this was all technical translation, right?
Yes,
So,
it was.
did you also work in the literary field of translation?
I don't work in literary. It's a hobby, basically. I love Japanese poems, mainly by poets like Aida Mitsuo and Yamao Sansei. So, as a hobby, I translate them into Marathi, because I'm very much comfortable in Marathi, which is my mother tongue. And yes, as a hobby, I'm doing that. I also have translated a novel from Japanese to Marathi. I'm in the process of getting copyrights right at the moment. Yes.
Wow, this is something amazing.
Thank you.
You mentioned about the Association of Friends of Japan.
Yes.
So tell us more about the association and your work with them.
Sure. Yes. So Association of Friends of Japan is a NGO, and we were students of Japanese language when we formed this in the year 1990. So that was the time not many Indians knew about Japanese culture, and not many Japanese people knew about Indian culture. So we wanted to, have cultural exchanges. And Yokohama and Mumbai are sister cities for last almost 60 years. So there were people coming to Mumbai from Japan for under this agreement. And we used to go to Mumbai to visit those, because we wanted to have chance to interact with Japanese people. So we thought, why not have something in Pune also? Why not we have people coming to Pune? So we started this, and then groups started visiting Pune, cultural groups. So that's how we started. Then we came into education also, like whoever wanted to go to Japan, wanted to learn Japanese in a quick time, because there are really good institutes in Pune which are teaching for long term. But if someone wants to learn in 2 months, 3 months, just a casual introduction to the language. So we started with that. And then we developed relationship with Okayama prefecture, and Pune Municipal Corporation developed a garden, which is the replica of Korakuen Garden in Okayama in Pune. So we coordinated those activities, because we were involved in the project since beginning. And then now for last 10 years, Wakayama government and Maharashtra have tied an agreement, and we are working in various fields together. So we at Association of Friends of Japan, we are coordinating many of their activities. So that's the way we are working. So I am working as a chief coordinator there. I coordinate all the activities, and the activities are very interesting. We want to mainly focus on interactions between people, So we are doing student interactions for last 15 years. We take Indian students to Japanese schools. We have homestays there. They stay with the families. They have lectures in the school with them. So summer camps, these we have been conducting. We are also receiving Japanese students to India. We take them to various institutes like schools and even NGOs here that are working in different domains. So interactions is one part. Then recently we have started sports interactions where we had wrestlers coming in from Japan
Okay.
to practice in various talims and academies in Pune.
Wow.
Yes, so that was something very interesting. We are actually expecting a big delegation next month also. Almost 25 wrestlers are coming for practice to Pune.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes, and so all sorts of interactions, whatever we work, we can do under this. We do, like, we also conduct study tours for professionals, then study tour for government officers we have done, because there's so much to learn from Japan. Uh, so we like to have these focused, tailor-made study tours. And we also worked on one documentary, which was very interesting, because there's this one 5-string instrument which is a national treasure of Japan. It's a private property of the Emperor of Japan. It's almost 1200 years old, and that's the only piece available in the world right now. So we were tracing from where it came, and we found it in the wall paintings of Ajanta, the same instrument. So it must have passed through the Silk Route via China to Japan. So that was the documentary based on. So some interesting projects like that we are working on.
Wow. Where is this documentary available for viewing?
It was showed on a Japanese television. I do have a CD with me, but it's not available otherwise.
I see. Okay. So we cannot just go on the internet and watch it.
Let me just find out if we can.
Sure. You can share the link with us. No problem.
Sure.
Now, about your teaching experience. So you have taught at various levels. So how is that experience? Because business, Japanese, and translation also you have taught. So can you tell us about it?
Sure. So teaching is what I love, actually, because you get to interact with young people, and it's always good to be with young people. You get different perspective, different energy from them. So what actually I always focused in while teaching translation as well as business Japanese is, of course, I teach how you should be translating some text and all, or the manners, business manners and all, of course I cover, but the main focus is to make the students ready for the industry, because not everyone gets a chance to do internship in companies. So it's in the classroom we have to teach them how companies function, what are the dynamics of companies. It's not only the language, but they should know what all they can do, know their role, how it goes beyond a certain role. It's like a translator should not be restricted to be a translator. Like, for example, if you are translating a website, it's not only translating the text, but you should know what color schemes Japanese people like, and you should be able to suggest that, or even date patterns or something like that. Like date patterns, the Japanese write it the opposite way. They write YYYY MMDD. So these patterns, or some the kind of language you should be using. So it is very much culture specific, I feel. So those are the things I focus on, and making them basically industry ready with all the other things.
Yes, that is so important. Learning a language, but it should be applicable also.
Right.
Great. Then Swati, your educational qualifications are varied from psychology to Indology. So how does it help you in your Japanese career?
It helps a lot, actually, because this, like, I'm curious by nature, which is why I've learned all these things, and it helps. Like recently, I accompanied a group of Japanese students who were learning Buddhism, and they were in India here to visit various Buddhist sites in Odisha and Bihar. So and Delhi also we had some meetings. So I met we met there, and this knowledge of mine in Indology helped me a lot over there. We went to ICCR, that is Indian Council for Cultural Research.
Okay.
That had given them the scholarship, and we met the president over there, and the president spoke so many things about Buddhism, and fortunately studying Indology, I had the idea, so that's how it helps. And not only in work, it also helps in developing relationship with Japanese people.
Okay.
If you know certain things, like there are people who are interested in, say, nature conservation, and since I've studied that, I can connect to them on those topics. So that's how it helps.
Well, this is interesting. You can quickly relate to what they're asking and share the information also.
Yes.
This is nice. Great. Do you plan to learn any more languages? It could be Indian or international.
Yes, I plan to, but I haven't decided on a particular language right now. Let's see how time permits, but I would certainly love to learn some other language.
Okay. Okay, great. So that will be from the Japanese side, like Korean or Chinese, something like that, or any other?
No, a totally different language I would like to learn. Maybe some language from African continent or Central Asia.
Okay. So, what would be your advice to those taking up the Japanese language as a career?
Yes, my advice would be like there's no dearth of opportunities in this field even now, but don't restrict yourself to a particular role. There's a lot beyond every role. Like even if you're a translator, interpreter, there's a lot beyond that. So just explore that. And another thing is constant learning is what helps you in this field, because the translations or interpretations, whatever you do, the fields are constantly changing. You have to work on new fields. So that is what I would like to say. And the most important advice what I would like to tell is role of a translator or interpreter is very, very crucial. It's very important. You are not only helping people communicate, you are trying to build relationship between companies, between people, between nations.
Yeah.
So just be proud of what you're doing.
Wow. Okay. Nice. You have experience as a placement consultant also.
Yes.
Yes, I think that is a very crucial role you are playing. So can you tell us about it?
Sure. So I have recently started working with a friend as a placement consultant, and still we have managed to place few people in Japanese companies. As we all know, Japan is a aging society and they need young resources. So this is a very good opportunity for a country like India, where we have got so many talented young resources. It's a win-win situation for both. So I'm trying to see how our people are happy working in Japan and how Japanese people are happy having Indians. And we have a relationship between India and Japan, it goes long. So, it's not only like working in a particular country, but it's like developing friendship between the nations.
Yes, yes. So important. Great. So, yes, this was a wonderful conversation. But before we close on this, I would like to ask, would you like to author a book, or do you have any plans to do that? Because you have in the process of publishing one translation, right?
Yes.
Yes. So about authoring, have any plans?
I haven't thought about it seriously yet, because I feel I'm still so young that I need more experience. That's just an excuse. I'm not so young anymore, but yes, I'll think about it. Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. So all the best for all your plans.
Thank you so much, Lalita.
And it was lovely having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.